Hey, Dorian. Welcome to Philly. Thanks for taking the time today.
No, of
We're going to
course.
start with Brooks Kubina.
Hey, welcome to Philly.
Appreciate it.
I'm just curious, in your experience, how much, it might be a weird first question, but just in terms of like, has there ever been like a time a coach or a quarterback has given you kind of maybe like an analyst type role, doing studies and kind of preparing stuff? Do you have experience in that?
I don't think I do in my time so far in my career. I don't think I've had to do that yet. No.
Gotcha. I was just curious.
We'll go to John McMullen and then Chris Franklin.
Hey, Dorian, welcome to Philly. What were your reactions when the deal went down?
Yeah, super excited. Obviously, going to miss all the things I had down in Cleveland in terms of teammates, just my neighbors, and really the relationships I built. And so, obviously, getting the call, it's a shock and surprise to be able to get traded this early in my career. But super excited. I took a top 30 visit here and loved it. And so to be back here is definitely a good feeling for sure.
We'll go to Chris Franklin and then Ed Cracks.
Hey, Dorian, you mentioned that top 30 visit. What stood out from you during that time when you were at the facility, and how much did you think you were actually going to become potentially an Eagle back during that draft process?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite teams coming out in the draft process. I loved everything about my visit here, just the way it was ran. They put me through a press conference type situation when I was on the visit to be able to get me prepared for whatever team I was on. So I appreciated that. And so now actually getting to be here and go through it live and in person, like I said, I'm just happy to be in this situation for sure.
We'll go to Ed and then Jeff McLean.
Yeah, hi, Dorian. Welcome to Philadelphia. I just want to ask you about any familiarity that you have with anybody on the Eagles, anybody you may have worked out with in the pre-draft or just the Eagles in general, even.
Yeah, I'll jump right into the quarterback room. I've crossed paths with Jaylen a few times. He's worked with a chess mentor of mine and Seth Mikowski, so we have a little bit of familiarity there. I'll have to ask him a bit about chess when I get into the room. And if he wants to play a couple games or two. So, and then me and Tanner are in the same quarterback class in high school. So I've known Tanner for a while now, and I've been able to really admire his game. Obviously, I played him in the Pac-12 when he was at Stanford. So I've been able to follow Tanner for a while.
We'll go to Jeff McLean and then Martin Frank.
Hi, Dorian. What was it like playing for Chip Kelly at UCLA?
Amazing. Chip's one of my all-time favorite coaches, someone that really was the first guy to really give a chance on me and help me build throughout my college career to be able to get to this point in the pros. So I have nothing but good things to say about Coach Kelly.
He's now in the NFL or back in the NFL. How do you think he'll do?
Yeah, man, it's not his first go-around at it, so I'm sure it'll be a lot better than when he first got into the league. And being able to get his foot in the ground as an OC down there in the Raiders in my hometown. So I'm definitely rooting for him for sure.
We'll go to Martin Frank and then Zach Berman.
Hey, Dorian. Obviously, you got some experience in Cleveland under some difficult circumstances and everything. How much do you think that has kind of helped you coming into this situation? And what do you think you can learn from the Eagles quarterback room with Jaylen and Tanner?
Yeah, I think going through Cleveland my first 2 years, there was obviously a lot of turnover, specifically at my position, with just injuries and things happening throughout the course of the past 2 years. And so just being able to learn from different guys like Joe and Jameis, and obviously Deshaun, guys that all play the position very different, but again, know what it takes to be a top-level quarterback in this league. And so I'm just trying to come in here and be a sponge for Jaylen, help him and help the room in any way I can, and be able to compete and support those guys as best I can for sure.
We'll go to Zach here and then Bo.
Hey, Dorian, two follow-ups to what you said. First off, how does this press conference compare to the mock one you had? And then did you say it was a chess coach you were working with?
To answer your second one, just off rip,
Yeah.
yes, it was a chess coach. Seth, I can't fully say his last name, but Seth Mikowski. Don't quote me on that, but that's I'm pretty sure how you say it. And then this is definitely a lot better of a press conference than my mock one. I know those guys really put me through the ringer and were asking me some serious questions when I first got here. So it's a lot more chill, and I appreciate you guys for sure.
If I can just ask you about the chess, how does that, I guess, factor into your life and playing quarterback?
Yeah, man, so much of this position is about decision making. And so I think that's really all chess is. It's just a board just to make decisions on. And every decision means something. You have to be consistent in that. And so I think that's really how it helps playing quarterback and really all positions. Is just being able to take that same mentality and mindset into the game and know that you got to be locked in for the full 4 quarters.
We'll go to Bo and then Olivia.
Hey, Dorian, I'm gonna hound you on the chess as well. How good are you? How often are you playing?
So I first started, Coach Kelly's actually the one that introduced this to me back in into 2018. Yeah, back in my UCLA days. So I used to play every day back then. I'd say now I probably play, maybe once or twice every other day. I am pretty good though. I will say I am pretty good. If anybody wants to get a match in, I'll get you guys my chess.com account. So
I'm a chess time guy.
We'll go to Olivia and then Dave Zangaro.
Hey, Dorian, if you are looking for someone to play chess with, Saquon Barkley is a chess player. Same with Braden Mann. So you've got some good options in the locker room.
I appreciate you telling me. Yes,
yeah, of course. You mentioned Jaylen and your familiarity with him. Just getting to be around him this upcoming season, what are you looking forward to most about being in the room with him? And what have you admired most about just his career trajectory so far?
Yeah, I think everybody just raves about how professional he is, both on and off the field, especially at such a young age. And so really just getting to see that approach every day. Again, support him and compete with him in any way I can. That's only going to make me better, as well as the rest of the room. But yeah, I've been a fan and admiring Jaylen for quite some time now. I want to say his Alabama days, but really it was really his Oklahoma days that really stuck with me. And that transition of his career and how he was able to prevail through that in those situations. So I think, yeah, I've been a fan of Jaylen for a while now.
We have time for 2 more. We'll do Dave Zangaro and then Bob Brookover.
You mentioned wanting to be a sponge around Jaylen. What's your approach to that when you're coming into a new situation and you want to try to learn as much as you can from the veteran in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, this is a new organization, a new culture, a new playbook, a new staff for me in total. So, like I said, really leaning on him with any questions I have, and no question is really too small or too big. And just kind of being a sponge that way. When we're out at the practice field, that's easy with watching how he works and in the weight room and stuff like that. But in terms of just the intangibles and how he really leads this team and gets everybody to rally behind him is something I think I'll really be paying close attention to.
We'll finish here with Bob Brookover.
Hey, Dwayne, welcome. And I know it's a very small sample size, but by your last year at UCLA, you were a very accurate passer, 70%, and you really struggled with that department in your 2 years, and obviously a small sample size. What do you feel like you need to work on there? Why do you think it's been such a struggle?
I think it's just a part of my progression, part of, just all circumstances being my first 2 years in the league. And the team success that we've had is obviously a direct correlation to my success on the field. So, just like I said, diving in with these new teammates, diving in with this new playbook, and really being a sponge to Jaylen as well as Coach LaFleur in the quarterback room and making sure that, there's no stone left unturned for sure.
Thanks, Dorian. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys.